And I wonder if there's just like some people on Tapology that go vote contrarian, and if it hits, then they boost
Probably.
up their Tapology score. But that brings us to the main event. I'm super excited for this fight. The return of John Jones versus Cyril Gane. Um, I kind of waited until right now to make a decision, and I think I'm going to have to go with John Jones. And I'm a huge Cyril Gane fan, but the one thing that I think makes the biggest difference, and you could say what you want, right? Obviously, Cyril Gane was training for Francis Ngannou, but to have Francis Ngannou take him down and control him really does not bode well for Cyril Gane against a guy like John Jones that literally could do it all. Sure, we haven't seen him since like before COVID, right? Yeah,
Yeah, he took
literally.
a COVID hiatus
Just
to
yeah,
gain
sure.
40
That's what.
pounds.
Yeah, he was out because of COVID, not because he was potentially under a USADA suspension. I like that this is a pick'em fight across the board, -110 for both of these guys. I just think John Jones has the ability to take Cyril Gane down and control him, and I don't think that Cyril Gane is going to do anything about it. Striking, I think, does favor Cyril Gane in this fight. Super dynamic striker, bounces around on his feet. But then you have John Jones, who is like just brutal, brutally violent. So, yeah, I'm going to go with John Jones to take Cyril Gane down and then pound some elbows into his skull. I think this does go for 5 rounds because Cyril Gane is tough. He's got a really good chin and everything. Barely ever seen him get wobbled. Maybe in just his most two recent fights, right, against Tai Tuivasa and Francis Ngannou, just get a
He
little
got
wobble.
he got
Yeah,
dropped by Tai Tuivasa. Got thrown up against the
yeah,
cage.
yeah, that's facts. So I think, yeah, I'm gonna have to roll John Jones here. Let's see what the people have to say. Wow, it's somewhat even, 59% coming in on John Jones. But the only thing that makes this disputable is that John Jones, we haven't seen him fight in 3 years, but he looks big, he looks bulky, and he still looks athletic. His face is just like real puffy looking right now, which is strange. But he looks good at heavyweight. I also think what bodes well for John Jones too is that this guy potentially could have fought at heavyweight 6 months to a year ago, and he wanted to take more time to get that physique right, and was super meticulous. It seems like in preparing for this heavyweight title reign. I would have liked to have seen the fight against Francis Ngannou, but I think that this is almost as good. So I'm going to go with John Jones here. What do you got, Tom?
Yeah, John Jones, at the end of the day, I think he has 16 title defenses to Cyril Gane's 12 professional fights. I don't know how much this plays into with Cyril Gane saying that he doesn't actually train. Does he train? Is there mind games? Cyril Gane just definitely does not have the same mentality, it looks like. I mean, he is a fun-loving guy, and I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but John Jones has got that, like, sadistic style, that's, mentality to him. And I think that's probably an edge too. The level of confidence that John Jones carries into anything he does, I think probably also ends up being a benefit for him as well. John Jones, like I said, he's got a very strong grappling background. He's got really good elbows and knees and precision. And most importantly, he knows how to stay defensive and stay away from people. And I think that's something that we've seen most recently kind of put on display that Cyril Gane doesn't necessarily have. Like I said, getting knocked by Tai Tuivasa and getting thrown around the ring and almost engaging in a full-out brawl. That's something that you would never see John Jones do. Getting the loss to Francis Ngannou on one ACL via grappling doesn't necessarily spell a lot of confidence for what John Jones would be able to do. And a lot of people are saying, well, Cyril Gane's young in his career and he's an athlete and he can learn quickly. I'm like, yeah, but you're not going to gain, 16, 20 plus years of experience of grappling in, how long was it since that Francis fight? We're talking about 1 year. He only can go so far. And, he is true. He does do a lot of, I think, media things and does a lot of extracurriculars. You see him playing a lot of different sports. So it wouldn't necessarily be the most surprising thing that Cyril Gane has a lot of these other interests that take him out of the gym. But with that being said, I think John Jones, like you said, he put on the weight the right way. He's been training at least at the same weight for the last 6 months, so he'll feel more comfortable in it. He's training with Henry Cejudo, which I really like it because of, what John Jones is going to do. He's going to try and go out there and grapple but I think if it stays on the feet, he's going to have enough experience and IQ to stay safe. So I'm going to go with John Jones in this fight when it's kind of unknown. He's in Cyril Gane too, 6'4", last weighing in at 247 pounds. He maybe cuts a little bit to get there, and maybe probably walks around maybe closer to 255 or something like that. But John would probably walk around 240, 250. So I think ultimately they may end up being very similar size. John's probably going to be a little bit smaller, but he'll probably be a lot quicker, definitely more technical, have the better IQ and the better well-rounded game. I'm going to have to lean John Jones.
I'm so excited to have him back because I have missed having like a true entertaining villain in the UFC that's just winning a division. The only thing that something that just occurred to me, and this has been said by a lot of people, including Dana White, is that Las Vegas is not a good place for John Jones. So I'd be curious to see, I think he's back at Jackson Wink. So maybe he's done enough to get back in their good graces and show that, he's, even if he's not sober, he's not out of control. He's put some of the problems behind him because that gym did distance themselves from him and ban him from, their facilities and training there. It would be interesting to see if John Jones, well, you know what though? He was partying all through that first leg of his career and had plenty of fights in Vegas then. So I don't know if that'll affect him actually, but I hope he doesn't get himself into trouble while he's in Vegas preparing for the fight, because to see anything happen to this main event,
Right.
disappointing would be an understatement. But it's going to be great. I'm super excited for this card. This is an awesome card all around.
The UFC should have an insurance policy on John Jones in this card, considering that it's in Vegas. You know what I mean? How soccer players take out insurance policies on their legs, or Tom Brady on his arm. I think it's an insurance policy on freaking John Jones.
Yeah, they probably should. But this being in Vegas, it's just going to make it that much better. Vegas seems to have the most fair judging too. So if this does go to a decision, we shouldn't see anything, weird come out of it. But John Jones, yeah, you would hope so, right? John Jones being back is great for the UFC. If he wins this belt, it's great for the division. And it seems like he wants to be active too. So I don't think we're going to see him gatekeeping and holding up the division. Cyril Gane, if he wins, on the other hand, too, it's also maybe just as good for the division. But John Jones is way better. You have that guy back on top. Just the sound bites alone that he produces. I can't wait to see the press conference for this. I can't wait to see him answering questions in front of a crowd, and then what he does in front of a crowd too is incredible. So really looking forward to this fight. I can't wait. Which one are you most excited for on this card?
I really want to see. I think the Mateusz Gamrot, Jalen Turner, I'm really excited about. I'm definitely excited to see Derek Brunson and Dricus du Plessis. I'm interested to see what version of Cody Garbrandt we're going to see again at 135. I think those would probably be my top three. I'm also excited for the debut of Bo Nichols, see Shavkat Rakhmonov again. Valentina's usually a treat. I was going to say always, but usually. I don't know if Farid Basharat is the brother of Gerard Basharat, but that's interesting. Something I need to look into. And Julian Marquez is a fun fighter, and we'll probably get some kind of cringy line from Ian Gary. So all that being said, Cameron Simon, a really young fighter, new to the UFC. I think he's only 22, 23 years old. So this influx of super young guys, that would be interesting to see. So there's something to watch in almost every single one of these fights. So I'm really looking forward to 285.
Okay, so you're looking forward to everything. Yeah, that's cool. I agree.
Yeah.
I think out of all of them, I'm most looking forward to the main event. I want to see John Jones back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for sure.
We start talking about legacy. Not that we already haven't for John Jones, but this is a true legacy fight. If he can come back after this hiatus, take over a new division, he could cement himself as the greatest of all time. Not that he isn't already in some people's eyes. And then I'm sure he's been pissing in a lot of cups preparing for this one too. So we got to make sure nothing comes out about that as well. That could throw.
Well, also he also just said that apparently all of the PED pops that he's had could potentially be wiped because of the new guidelines of what the restrictions are and what the levels are. So that's something interesting to follow too. And is that in relation to McGregor coming back, or are they changing the guidelines for McGregor? Like, a lot of interesting MMA Guru went into that about McGregor and John Jones and what they did for Brock Lesnar, and made a bunch of accusations and draw a bunch of conclusions. He said, "Oh, it's a joke," but I think that's the guys to get something out there. So really interesting stuff going on in the UFC. A lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's dive into our pick rundown.